បាទសូមជំរាបជូនដល់អ្នកសារព័ត៌មានជាតិនិងអន្តរជាតិទាំងអស់ដែលមានវត្តមាននៅនេះខ្ញុំនឹងចាប់ផ្ដើម
I would like to inform all international and national media personnel that I will start the press briefing in a minute. So please get ready for those who are joining in this room and also online. Please allow me to start our press briefing. First and foremost, good morning to all Cambodian people, international and national press personnel who are physically present at the ECCC and those who are joining virtually on Zoom platform. Today, the public affairs section of the extraordinary chambers in the courts of Cambodia is holding a press briefing. That is the press briefing before the pronouncement of appeal judgment in case 002/2 against the accused KHIEU SAMPHAN. The Supreme Court chambers of the extraordinary chamber mark the 22nd September 2022, the day for the pronouncement of case 002/02 against KHIEU SAMPHAN. The final verdict in this case will conclude case 002/02 as well as the whole case 002. After the 15 years proceedings, that is from the preliminary inquiry up until the trial stage, and then the final pronouncement of case of the judgment that is planned for 22nd of September 2022. Case 002/02 is very important because this case includes the former senior leaders of the Democratic Cambodia. Number one, Nuon Chea, former Deputy Secretary of Communist Party of Cambodia and former of the National Assembly of the Khmer Rouge. Number two, KHIEU SAMPHAN. Number three, Ieng Sari, former Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Khmer Rouge regime, and Madame Ieng Thirut, former Minister
Recording in progress.
of the Khmer Rouge regime. At the end of the case, one of the four defendants accused, that is Mr. KHIEU SAMPHAN, who was the former state president. He is now 91 years old, and he is still being held. He remained in detention of the ECCC detention facility. He was a former senior leader surviving the regime, and he is under the trial of the ECCC by the ECCC. So in case 002, there is one remaining the accused. For Nuon Chea, the former Deputy Secretary of the Cambodia Communist Party of Cambodia, and also the President of the National Assembly. He stand trial. He passed away in September 2019, and leading the case 002/02 with one accused, that is Mr. KHIEU SAMPHAN. For Mr. Ieng Sary and Ieng Theret, so they passed away during the proceedings. Case 002/02 concerns Mr. KHIEU SAMPHAN. Is the final verdict of the ECCC in its mission to seek justice for two categories of individuals, that is the senior leaders of the Democratic Cambodia and those who are who were most responsible for the crime.
1975 ដល់ថ្ងៃទី6ខែមករាឆ្នាំ
The crime committed between the 17 April 1975 and 6 January 1979, and around 1 to 2 million Cambodian people passed away. This is a new achievement or milestone achieved by the hybrid court. And this is the historic for Cambodian people and also for Khmer survivor, and also the historic day for the international justice system. The ECCC is a domestic court with international participation. This ECCC has achieved a lot of milestone achievement, and on the 22nd September 2022, the Supreme Court's chamber will make the pronouncement of the appeal judgment in case 002/02. The ECCC open the hearing, substantial hearing in case 002/02 concerning KHIEU SAMPHAN, the former state president from 16 to 19 August 2021 in the main courtroom of the ECCC. And during the appeal hearings, the Supreme Court chamber heard the arguments in the appeal of filed by the parties, including the defense lawyer for Mr. KHIEU SAMPHAN, co-prosecutors, co-lead lawyers for civil parties. And in the appeal filed by Mr. KHIEU SAMPHAN against the trial judgment, a number of requests were made to the Supreme Court chamber. Number one, he raised the invalidity of the trial chamber pronounced on the 16th November 2018. And also he objected to the reasoning on 18 March 2019. He raised invalidity of the trial judgment. Mr. KHIEU SAMPHAN was found guilty of the Genocide Act against Vietnamese people, a war crime, and crimes against humanity. And KHIEU SAMPHAN also requested the change of his sentencing, and particularly the change in the prison term. These are all the requests which were made by Mr. KHIEU SAMPHAN by his lawyer. He requested to review the trial judgment of the trial chamber. In the trial verdict as well, the co-prosecutor made the appeal as well, but the co-prosecutor did not appeal against the revision of the sentencing. Actually, the co-prosecutor did not file the appeal against the guilt, but on the forced marriages. and requested the Supreme Court chamber made an error when it decided that men were forced to uh, into sexual intercourse, and the Supreme Court chamber did not consider that those male victims were the victim of the crime. And for the co-lead lawyer for civil party requested the Supreme Court chambers to confirm the verdict and also to confirm the life imprisonment. And this is just to recall uh, the proceeding, the outcome of the proceeding after the 16th August 2021. After about 1 year, the Supreme Court chamber judges and officials worked together in an effort to write the appeal judgment. And now we have made the achievement, and thereby it is now timing for the pronouncement of the Supreme Court appeal judgment on the 22nd September 2022. Please allow me to inform Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, that Mr. KHIEU SAMPHAN, the former state president, he is now 91 years old. The accused was tried by the trial chamber of the ECCC, found guilty of crimes against humanity, grave breaches of the 1949 Geneva Conventions, and genocide against the Vietnamese during the Khmer Rouge regime took the country between 17 April 1975 and the 6th of January 1979. And KHIEU SAMPHAN was sentenced to life imprisonment in the verdict announced on 16 November 2018. The substantive hearing in case 002/02 began on 17 October 2014, and the presentation of evidence began on the 8th of January 2015 and ended on 11 January 2017. The concluding submission were made from the 13th to 23rd of June 2017. The trial, including the closing statement in case 002/02, lasted a total of 83 days. In the course of the trial chamber heard testimony from a total of 185 individuals, including 114 factual witnesses, 63 civil parties, and 8 experts. The hearings received great attention by the public, with a total of nearly 100,000 attendees in the proceeding following the trial live. The judgment in case 002/02 was pronounced by the trial chamber on the 16th November 2018 and sentenced Mr. KHIEU SAMPHAN and Nguyen Chia to life imprisonment for genocide, crimes against humanity, and war crimes. These crimes took a lot of life of our Cambodian people. And the ECCC has consolidated the sentence of life imprisonment in case 002/02, 01 and case 002/02 against Nguyen Chia and KHIEU SAMPHAN, one single sentence, that is life imprisonment for the two accused, Mr. Nguyen Chia and KHIEU SAMPHAN. And as I have informed all of you, Mr. KHIEU SAMPHAN passed away during the proceeding in case 002/02, and only one accused remain as stand trial. And the verdict is now waiting which the Supreme Court chamber will make the pronouncement of the appeal judgment on the 22nd September 2022. Please allow me to inform Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, as well that following the pronouncement, appeal judgment pronouncement in case 002/02, it is the final verdict by the ECCCC after the court proceeding for more than 16 years. This is a starting point as well for other work after the conclusion of the court hearings. And after the conclusion of the court proceedings, the ECCC will have another 3 years to work on the residual functions and activities. And there are two main work or residual work. That is the archival management of case file of the ECC. The archives shall be kept in accordance with the international standards, and publics are entitled to have access to those case files in a broad manner. And the second mentioned function is to disseminate the outcome of the ECCC proceeding. And this is to promote the broad implementation, and also its help for the research by international, national academia and researcher, and also promote legacy of ECCC so that the next generation can be educated in an effort to prevent the recurrence of the genocidal regime, the regime which committed the genocide, crimes against humanity, and war crime in the world as well. In the course of 16 years, the ECCCC has made a lot of milestones. And the ECCC has concluded case 001 against Kang Kieu Deutsch, a former S21 security chief, office chief, and therefore there are 4 accused, and lastly only one is surviving, that is Mr. KHIEU SAMPHAN. And cases 002, 003, and 04 were ended because there are no closing order or indictment. And those cases or case files 003 and 04 were sealed up. In the course of 16-year mission by the ECCCC and the hybrid court with the between the Cambodian participation, international participation, the court started in February 2016, and up until August 2022, the court spent around 300, more than 300 million US dollar, and the international side spent about the national side about 98 million, and the international side spent around more than 200 million US dollar. 239 donors, and Japan is the biggest donor for the ECCCC, which has provided financial contribution 88.28 million US dollar. That is 31% of the total expenditure of the court. And the second contributor for the ECCC is the Royal Government of Cambodia. The government has provided in-kind assistance and financial contribution 45.5 million US dollar. That is 14%. And then Australia 35 million US dollar, United States 32 million US dollar, and the EU 32 million US dollar, Germany 14 US dollar, Sweden 14 US dollar, UK 13 US dollar, and France 10 million US dollar and other financial donor as well. The Khmer Rouge Tribunal is grateful to all donors for your support in the ECC proceedings in the inception until this stage and the following stages. And also the milestones of the ECCC made by the ECCC. As I indicated earlier, there is the pronouncement of the judgment which provides justice to the victims of the decay, and number two, reveal the truth for Cambodian people, particularly the things that happening in the democratic Cambodia, and also it enlightens the fact on the transfer of population, cooperative establishment, work at the work sites, forced marriage, internal purges, torture, massacre, and hunger, as well as starvation, as well as the religious persecution and other inhuman acts, which made people die from between 1.2 million to 2 million. Uh, and the Khmer Rouge Tribunal has joined in the process of peace in Cambodia and uh, national reconciliation, national unity, and healing process for the victims through moral and collective reparation. Can also healing process can be made through the storytelling and the testimony in the court as well. The victim has been waiting for long. Why Khmer Rouge regime established? Why Cambodian people were killed and they were forced to get married and forced to leave their home. These are all the achievement and milestone achieved by the Khmer Rouge Tribunal. I would like to inform Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, as well that in all the case files, we have our 218 witnesses and experts testifying in case 001 and 02, and civil parties, 116 civil parties testify in case 001 and case 002. And there are 3,159 civil party recognized by the court. They are victims. This is the important point that I would like to inform you as well, that during the 16-year court proceeding, the Khmer Rouge Tribunal welcome the people who came to visit the court and also join the live proceeding, and also through the outreach program. In total, about 500,000 audience visitors coming to attend the court hearing, and altogether the in-house outreach and in-house information dissemination and outreach program, it could reach to more than 600,000 population. This is all the information that I would like to inform you before we start tomorrow the pronouncement of the appeal judgment. And I would like to inform you the program for the appeal judgment pronouncement on 22nd September 2022. The hearing will start at 9 a.m. in the morning in the main courtroom of the ECCC, and there are the senior high-level official from the royal government of Cambodia in attendance, and also the high-level official from United Nations, the victims who are civil party, press personnel, academia, CSO, and the public in general. They are all in attendance in the hearings to pronounce the judgment against K002/02. This is this is a new historic day, another historic day for Cambodia and also for the ECCCC. This is the brief initial information for press personnel, and the pronouncement of the judgment will be broadcast live on the TVK, Television of Cambodia, that is TVK, and we hope that there will be broadcast as well from other TV stations to allow Cambodian people to understand the final verdict of the Supreme Court chamber on the appeal by Mr. KHIEU SAMPHAN. Let me now conclude my briefing, and I am ready to receive any question from our journalist. Thank you. For journalists who want to ask question, please raise your virtual hand or raise your hand here in this room so that we could give you the floor. Please. Please use microphone to allow interpreter to hear your voice. My name is Dom from BTV. My question is, according to what you stated after the pronouncement of the judgment against Mr. KHIEU SAMPHAN on 22nd September 2022, the court proceeding will finally concluded. Are there any objection or complaints from civil party by now, particularly on the trial against the senior leader or leaders of the Democratic Cambodia? Thank you very much. For the 22nd September 2022, it has concluded the legal proceedings, that is concluding the cases before ECCC. There are four case files, case 001, 02, 03, and 04. Case 001 was concluded, and cases 003 and 04 were concluded. Remaining is case 002/02 against Mr. KHIEU SAMPHAN. So the pronouncement of the judgment appeal judgment on 22nd September 2022 is the conclusion of the court proceeding, but the court will not end. This is a starting point after conclusion, the starting point of the work of the ECC. That is the starting point after the conclusion. We have another 3 years based on the addendum between the United Nations and Cambodia, Cambodian Royal Government of Cambodia to perform the residual function. There are two main functions to be performed in the residual mission. That is the management of the archives, the case file of the ECCC, the case files and the archives shall be kept in accordance with international standards, and also it will allow the public to have broad accessibility. The Royal Government of Cambodia and the United Nations will work together. And for the Royal Government of Cambodia, it arranged an office building next to the office of the Council for Minister and share the premises of the legal documentation center. All documents will be transferred to that location, new office building. And the second function is the dissemination, education of the achievement of the ECC. This function is important because after the 16th year of this court, we have made a great deal of work. We have achieved a great deal of work, and that is the seeking justice for the victim and also finding the truth for the victims, those who died, and also the survivors. So the court proceeding has enlightened the history of the democratic Cambodia for Cambodian people, and there are a lot of good legacy by this court. And let me mention this court is a hybrid court operated by the country where crimes committed and with the participation of international community. This court tried Khmer Rouge leader, that is the senior leader of the regime, including the state president, Mr. Nuon Chea, the former deputy secretary of the party, and also the president of the National Assembly, Mr. Ieng Sari, former Minister of Foreign Affairs, and Ieng Thirit, former Minister of Social Affairs Action. And this court has received large participation of the public. Why? Because this court is established in the country where the crimes themselves were committed. Population, the public are really interested in learning what was going on in this country, and about half million of the population participated in the in the live proceeding. And so compared to other courts, this court is the first court with success of civil participation with a public audience. And for this court, the ECCC, it has the administration court system. And this administration court system is a model serving for the justice reform in Cambodia. That is, we are now preparing to have the administration court system as well in domestic courts. Another important point is that this court has contributed to enhancing the capacity of our national officials. Those who worked for the ACC received a lot of experience, and their capacity was strengthened, and they perform the work in their institution with professionalism and with quality. This is important. And another legacy of this court is that this court can serve as a model for other possible courts in the future to try the international crimes. And this court has provided jurisprudence for implementation in the domestic system as well. So overall, this court has provided a lot of benefits, not only the justice for the victims, or not only to promote security and peace, national reconciliation and national unity. This court has strengthened the understanding of Cambodian people in the prevention of the crimes from coming back. And for the views of the public and personal view, actually, we have complied with our procedures. That is, after the pronouncement of the judgment on the 22nd September 2022, it is a starting point so that the ECCC will continue its residual function. There are no more case files.
Your Excellency Ned Petra, I'm Sarat from Apsara TV station. You already mentioned a lot about the pronouncement of the appeal judgment on the 20 September 2022. After the pronouncement of the appeal judgment, and it is the closure of the case file at the ECC. Lastly, will there be a further press conference? Because they are national and international participants. If there will be a press conference, it is a press conference, what will be the substance of the press conference? Another point, because it is the closure of the ECC judicial function, do you have any further pronouncement to the public? Thank you very much. I did not tell you yet that on the 20 September 2022, after the pronouncement of the appeal judgment at 9:30 by the Supreme Court, after the appeal judgment pronouncement, there will be a declaration, press statement by the representative of the government and the United Nations. And after that, there will be a press conference by the parties. We are inviting relevant parties such as the representative of the prosecution, the representative of the defense team, and a representative of the lead co-lawyers. And this is our program that we have normally organized after the main events, after such a main hearing, and all parties will proclaim the position, such as the prosecution, the defense, and the civil parties. These are matter relevant to the press conference. In relation to the appeal by the ECC, is that may appeal to the youth that the ECC judicial functioning both the effort by the national and international community in establishing the ECC and bringing the senior leader and those more responsible for the prosecution. This is quite very important in trying to bring them for trial in order to seek justice for the victims, both those who died during the regime and the survivors. After there was a request in June in 1997 by the royal government of Cambodia to the United Nations for the provision of the technical to Cambodia. At that time, like people Panya Sok-an, the DP and the chairman of the working group on the establishment of the ECC, but it's quite very so. Unfortunately, the achievement, by some like Sok-an is inscribed in the heart of government official and of the people of Cambodians. And such achievement cannot be happened without the effort of Samdech Vibol Panya Vibol Sokan with the leading from the Samdech Techo Prime Minister in the dissolution of the Khmer Rouge regime in order for the international community to support the establishment of the trial in order to bring justice to Cambodian people, as well as the strengthening of peace and security in Cambodia, especially the youth among the public should study the document, because there are more than 2 million pages of the documents, especially our people, especially the youth, can make their research on the history of Khmer Rouge regime. The purpose for the establishment of the ECCC is to prevent the reoccurrence of the brutal acts by the Khmer Rouge, and it is for the purpose of the Cambodian people to understand the Cambodian history in the prevention of the reoccurrence of such crimes.
Text message បាទសូមអញ្ជើញសឿន
Good morning, I'm Kamsuan from Khmer Time. Can Your Excellency add some points that with regard to the closure of ECCC? Is there any protest from the victims, Your Excellency?
សូមជំរាបថាដំណើរការនៃការឈានទៅដល់ការបិទបញ្ចប់គឺស្របទៅតាម
The closure of the ECCC is in compliance with an agreement signed on 6 June 2023, signed by Samdech Panya Vibol Sokan and a representative of the UN, Mr. Hankorel, responsible for the legal affairs at Chatamuk Theatre Hall. It proved the collaboration in the establishment of the ECC after the negotiation over 6 years. And lastly, Cambodia and UN signed an additional agreement, because addendum in order this additional agreement is for the closure of the ECCC in compliance with the agreement between the royal government of Cambodia and the United Nations with regard to the establishment and the closure of ECCC. I think I have provided you detailed information. As I told you, it is the beginning of the end. Of course, staff will be reduced, or will be dispersed, such as the defense teams and the appeal court. So all sections of the ECCC will be reused. Therefore, I am using the word "it's the beginning of the end." I thank you very much for the representatives of the press for your participation in our press conference this morning. I thank you very much for your participation, and may I invite you all to attend another press conference after the pronouncement of the appeal judgment on K02/02 on 22 September 2022 at the ECCC, and also that we will facilitate to televise through Zoom in order to enable people who cannot come here directly. And at the same time, we also have live streamings on our website and on YouTube, so the press can access to these publication. Good morning, Your Excellency. I'm Rajana from CPA News Agency. I have two questions. It is what the victims raised about this question when I met them with regard to the trial of the Khmer leaders that last almost 2 decades. Some victims think that such a lengthy judicial process, it seems that it's a very late justice is just like an injustice. Second, we don't know yet that the pronouncement of the appeal judgment coming soon here. We don't know what it means to the accused. But if the Supreme Court chamber still decide to sentence the accused for life imprisonment, that he already sentenced for a life imprisonment, he doesn't have 2 lives, to serve the imprisonment for 2 lives. Thank you very much, Rajana. The first question is that the judicial process has consumed too much time, meaning the provision of a very late justice is equals to injustice. With regard to the ECC judicial process, after the Khmer regime collapsed, Cambodia did not enjoy peace peacefully yet. And we have worked for over almost 30 years. In 1997, at that time, Cambodia did not enjoy peace peacefully, but there were 2 element against the government, that is the Khmer forces. In 1997, when the real government of Cambodia seeks assistance from the United Nations in order to establish the ECCC to prosecute crimes committed during the Khmer regime, the royal government also show it's worrisome because will affect the finding of peace. Cambodia enjoyed peace peacefully on 9 December 1998 after the Khmer structure was dissolved by a win-win policy by the Samdech Techo Prime Minister. So up to the establishment of an agreement, and the court itself established on 20 and on the year 2006. It was already late before the establishment of ECCC. initially it's prepared only for $56.3 million and would last only for 3 years. But because of the complexity of the procedures and the large amounts of number of the civil party, over 4,000 civil parties and a lot and million documents to be translated into English and French. Therefore, it consumes much time. But we should not interpret that the usage of such a lengthy, the consumption of such a lengthy of time, meaning that it is injustice. It's better late than never. After the Khmer Rouge regime collapsed for over 40 years from the collapse of the Khmer Rouge regime, it is not too late to provide justice to the victim who died and also for the survivors. Those who died did not think that there would be such a court to bring justice for them. Other victims during the Khmer Rouge regime who even struggled for the survival did not expect that there would be such a trials either. So even though it is late, a little late, but we have fulfilled our obligations in bringing the truth and justice to the victims of the democratic Cambodia. The finding of the truth and justice cannot satisfy everyone. But the most important point is that the implementation of the procedures and the Khmer Rouge Tribunal have abided by the Cambodian and international laws that provide justice to the people from the beginning to the end. Other than that, justice doesn't mean only the appeal, the judgment, but all the functionings of the ECCC. Second, I don't have any prejudice to the hearing by the appeal by the Supreme Court, but I wish to tell you that the trial chamber that completed the two cases, case 002/01, 002/02, Rajana mentions that he has to live on life and he has to serve he has to serve the imprisonment for 2 lives. After the pronouncement of case 002/02, the chamber will put together both the sentencing of the case 002/01, 002/02 together of the crimes against humanity, war crime and genocide. And lastly, the court will pronounce his sentence for 1 life only. If found guilty, the 2 cases KHIEU SAMPHAN will serve only 1 life. Whatever decision it is, it's up to the pronouncement of the appeal judgment by the Supreme Court chamber. on 22nd September 2022 that we all are waiting for how what the outcome of the pronouncement of the appeal judgment. Thank you very much. I think may I pronounce the closure of our press conference here. I thank you again for the national and international representative of media who come here directly or who participate via the Zoom. May I wish you all the four board officers be successful in all your tasks and very peaceful. We will meet again on the 22nd September 2022 at the ECCC courtroom.
Recording